Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud. Now our speaker, أستاذنا Dr. Mohamed Haggag, جامعة المنوفية. He will talk about health economics for VATS search. تفضل.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for giving me the honor to be here and to present this work. Our talk today is about some administrative issue which is called reuse, the single use from a thoracic surgery health economics point of view. First, that was last year in the moment when all was asking will we come again here. At this point, I should thank Professor Ahmed Minshawi, Professor Mohamed Haggag, Professor Assiut VATS, and Professor Mahmoud Salam for giving us honor to be here today after 1 year, and I wish to continue. And then the story of reuse to start. Prof, our stock of disposables is going down. Important one to stop the war, or we can manage the number of scarce items is increasing and seems that will be for some time. Is it lack of funding or supply chain depletion? It's not clear about the main issue. Okay, let's go. It's time for administrative revision. Then our team gathered and go for administration. Boss, our stock is going down. Do we have a problem? Really? Higher running costs, expensive disposables, and low stock at suppliers. So, you're asking us to decrease our rates according to the new supplies rate? No. Please revise your cost per patient and do your best to increase rates with available supplies. Okay, more challenges drive to new ideas. I'm waiting for your success. It's the everyday story nowadays, and the team gather and rethink, should we move to reuse the single use? Thanks for them, because Albert Einstein told us it's the important thing is to never to stop questioning. Is it really happen important, or it's those socioeconomic or developing countries issues to use a single use? I found that it's not about us only, because FDA, Food and Drug Administration, have put simple definitions to present that. It's very important to every institution to know. First, what is single-use device? It's a device that's intended for one use or a single patient during a single procedure. And it's allowed to reprocess it. Yes, they give us a definition for it to know that it's possible and it's allowed. Reprocessed is with respect to a single-use device, means that an original device that had previously been used on a patient and has been subjected to additional processing and manufacturing for the purpose of additional single use. Colleagues from India has some monitoring to look back and forward and see and give us a roadmap. By reprocessing, it means that we have to disassemble, decontaminate, clean, and inspect, test, pack, relabeling, and sterilization of a single-use device after they have been used. And they put some flavor that everyone can need it if you have an opened device during cases but not used. So you can need it not for cost reduction but to protect your resources. Again, to the FDA, because it would not allow that we have a classification of devices, that we have a critically reprocessed single-use devices, which means a device that's intended to contact normally sterile tissue or body spaces. And I think most of our devices run in this category: staplers, retractors and trokers, ligashores or harmonics, octopus or cannulas, all get in contact with sterile tissues. And give us another definition that we have a semi-critical reprocessed devices which come in intact mucous membrane or not penetrate normally sterile areas. And a good example is the single-use fiber optic probes that can really sterilize. At this point, it looks nice, that's defined and has steps, but is it safe? Again, to the Indians, they get no, it's not totally safe because we have some risk. maybe due to the cross-contamination, due to the hospital-acquired infections, the inadequate decontamination and cleaning, and non-guaranteed performance of the reprocessed device, and material alteration and residue created from the chemical agents we will use during sterilization that can make the process unsafe. So it's risky? No. It has benefits, but why we need it? We need it because short of stock, we need it as a cost reduction, we need it to reduce going. At the end of the day, it's risk against money. You have to weigh out if you need it. Back to health economics, because money gets up in economics. That is the main pillars of economics in every part of the world. Because nowhere in the world that a healthcare system can devote enough resources to the healthcare to meet all its citizens' wants. So we need to face those 6 pillars every step. We will face it in the reuse, because we have a scarcity of resources, so we have to make a new choice. Supply is looking all the time for resource use, costs and outputs. So we have to assess the change and examine against what we are doing now. But don't forget that you have to ensure the technical efficiency, economic efficiency, and social efficiency. And you have to go through the 5 stages to define your problem and know the alternative way, to know how cost and benefits, summarize your results, and then decide and give economics time to make their studies about cost benefit, cost consequences, and cost effective, to tell us at last measuring of costs. How much is profitable? We will go for economics. According to the United States Governmental Accountability Office report, they stated that using an in-house reprocessed device can get a 10% than a new one, and an overall reduction at a 50% cheaper in your budget. So it gave an edge. In moon numbers to know, John Grotting in an interview for the Wall Street Journal stated that it can get US $1.8 billion a year if we use a reprocessed device. And one of the remarking, 14 hospitals noted in 2004 as the top hospitals in USA, 13 of them were using a reprocessed device. So it's not for developing countries only. When started the process? CDC didn't get us away until it started since 1970s, because before this time most devices were reusable, and the industry started at this moment to present the single-use devices to get in the market, and this started the idea of reuse the single-use. And they stated also that 20 to 30% of the hospitals report reuse at least of one type of devices, but they put a strict regulation that if you think to reuse a single device, you have to have a regulatory, ethical, medical, legal, and economic issues. One of the times that we faced all during COVID, and this was a very interesting question: can we get an extended use or reuse of the single-use masks and respirators with the overall, all over the world shortage was there? Oxford replies that evidence on the impact is very limited, but such practices should only be considered in situations of critical shortage, and the healthcare organizations should put policies and systems in place to apply existing guidance and monitor usage. And so when it gets to policies, America again didn't let us away and think, when you think to reduce cost against efficiency and quality, you have to think well, because we have to go up and not down. And here come GCR. If you are speaking about standard, so you should have a standard. Joint Commission published in 2008 a white paper, as they said, because it doesn't aim except for good wellness of organizations and people, which is called the reuse of the single-use devices, understanding risks and strategies, and put a definite roadmap and steps to how to use the single-use device again. First, you should have a hospital policy that must be created to guide your such reuse, and national laws or regulation, if exist, it should comply with your policy. Second step, you should have a device list of which devices that you will allow your hospital or your organization to be reused. Next step, that you should have a processing protocol and you should a clear statement for how you clean, disinfect, sterilize each single-use device. And then you have an auditing tool to ensure the two important issues of safety and performance. And then you should have a validity for your process, because the hospital should develop a process to determine when, at which time the single-use device is no longer safe and cannot be reused again. And don't forget to monitor your outcome, because you should follow the patient you used the reusable device and get how much it impacts the outcome, and not only follow, it also analyzes adverse event and used to identify and implement improvements. To summarize, if you want to reuse a single use, you should have a policy, device list, reprocessing protocol, auditing tools, validity, outcome analysis. Till now it's theoretical, but can it come to true? Thanks to our colleagues Croatian. We have an application in 2020 from Croatia that colleagues performed this study and published clearly what they have done on appendectomy using single-use harmonic, a new one, and reused one. And they noted very clearly how they reprocessed their device in a steps like noted before, that detailed the macroscopic examination for hardware damage and the meticulous mechanical cleaning. Next step is soaking in enzymatic detergent and both the agents they used, followed by washing down, manual drying with non-lining fabrics, air drying, and then packaging. After packaging, low temperature sterilization in their sterilizing department and the sterilizing agent sterile system. And they got their conclusion that the results of study support the reuse of harmonic scalpels, especially in the setting where economic constraints might hamper access to minimally invasive surgery to a larger number of patients. So they have done a success story, published, they respect what CDC said, that you should have a regulatory, ethical, nothing is hidden, medical and legal, it's published to all and can you replicate, and economic issues, they go to and economic issues. What we can say today at birth, reuse of the single use is recognized worldwide. It's not for underdeveloped countries. Some risks are there, infections and non-guaranteed performance, but there are benefits, which is cost reduction and profit growing. But if you want to go the way, standard should be respected. Policy, device listing, reprocessing protocol, auditing tools, validity, and outcome analysis. At last, I should thank heroes that stay for days and nights to come to be here today and to make this event happen. And before I go, I should thank my institute, Manufacturing University, and my success colleague all the time. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mohamed Haggag, for this nice talk, and we are happy that you are with us today. In my opinion, it was a very nice talk because the high cost is a very big problem when we use VATS technique, so it was very important to talk about this. And we are happy that you are with us today, and we hope that every year you are with us. Okay, thank you. Any question?
One more time, I want to commend you for an excellent presentation. There is no doubt that you are here now in a period of shifts from blind trust into physician into question performance in any operation being done. And the legislation that's being passed now need to be taken very cautiously. So if you are going to advertise, because you are televised and advertised, that we speak about a reuse, that this should be done on an institutional level with very clear criteria. So we don't have a caveat in the way that you are doing service that can be taken legally against us into different performance.
Yes, totally agree.
The second thing is not about the talk, but I want to share with you my feelings towards my colleague, because I have seen him since he was a very young resident, and how early on he got interested into administration in the institution in which we both served, and the presentation that you have put together indicates how deep you went into the non-operating room practice. And I'm saying this because for the young one, this should be an integral part of your learning and growing in practice. Because if you are only an operating room person, then you are going to miss a lot in administration, in gross, and so on. So he is a perfect example of somebody who took the ladder very slowly, step by step, and I commend you for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.